Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Hero, Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma in some dusty village on the Eastern Front. Fighting pops off here as Basset with the Red Army, the 3rd Guards tank corps here with Soviet Shock Army with T-35 Hay mortars, shock troopers, armed vehicle detection, and 152mm artillery strikes. Attacks against Mirassol here, fighting for the Wehrmacht. Germany, Deutschland here with elements of the 11th Panzerdivision, standing for themselves in the crosshairs of a Red Army advance. We got a double grenadier mobile, starting with mobile defense with command tanks, counter-attack tactics, panzer tactician, mobile observation posts, and the Puma heavy armored car. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters who keep making the Propagandacast possible. Big thanks to all those. Other people enjoy the ranks by Patreon. They can donate via PayPal. Links are in the video description. And if you're in the market for pre-ordering comments fee, there's a link in the comments. Use the CoH2 for the years for there. And those, comment, like, share, subscribe. So, consequently suffered here. Steady advance here from Basset, also going up aggressively in the north. And interesting, Mirassol is dispatching nothing there, which is actually a bit risky for Wehrmacht in the west, because if the Surge can occupy, well, any allied player can occupy this particular area, this building, it typically can make things very, very uncomfortable for the Wehrmacht tank to maintain positions here. So it's a pretty risky opening here so far that Mirassol's committing to. It does appear like he's trying to set up some future push for the southern field point here. But yeah, definitely feels a bit risky there for Mirassol. 3rd Grenadier Squad here for him. 2 conscript engineers here for Basset, backing off here for now. But yeah, he's clearly lining up for some kind of foothold here, which is, I'd definitely say, an interesting and unusual opening. And of course, it could be that Basset is banking, or Mirassol, is banking on the, well, unexpected element of that to surprise his opponent, as some players can definitely be a bit thrown off if the opponent does something, fairly out of the ordinary. 3rd conscript for Basset, the Red Army. 218th Motorized Rifle Regiment. We got grenadiers to the conscript at southern point here. North Indians moving in there. All conscripts ready. More grenadiers as well there for Mirassol. Again, very intense southern focus here from Mirassol against Basset, with only a very light presence in the north. Definitely a highly unorthodox capping order here for Kholodny Ferma. Not that we see many people playing this map anymore, like most people tend to just veto it. And so I suspect some players actually get to play it not because they want to play in it, but because they just use that ability that most people don't play on Kholodny Ferma, to just, use that as a sort of indirect veto to then play, be able to veto maps they really don't like in comparison. We'll have to see. Ultimately, we'll never know. But there we go. Comes there, holding ready. We got counterattack from Mirassol. And now we got a larger German counterattack here, swinging into the third positions here by the carve point here. And striking to the south here, but the Pioneers on their own will not be able to overwhelm their Basset's conscripts. Grenadiers are going for the carve point here. Definitely a rather tactically interesting situation between Mirassol and Basset. Definitely not how Kholodny Ferma matches going. There you go. White on Basset in the early game there. Engineers ripped apart there by German rifle fire here, but there you go. Conscript just keep flanking around them. And got flamethrowers as well here for Basset, which definitely makes it harder for Mirassol to make use of currency. Grenadier Squad trading. And in the south here, though, the trap seems to be slowly closing here on Basset. The slap. Oh dear. Grenadiers reinforcing here. More ready. Some tech would also be a good idea for Mirassol, unless he's, I don't know, planning a 5th Grenadier Squad. There we go. Pushing in, and there you go. Actually pushed them off the southern field point. Crikey. He needs quick to lay down mines here. Thumbs up to Basset on that account. Grenadiers reorganizing. No tech yet here for Mirassol. Is he planning a 5th Grenadier Squad here? Pioneers, by the way, he may, of course, consider laying down some barbed wire while they're grabbing the point here. And there you go. We do get the tech from Mirassol. And the 11th Panzerdivision. Retreating back here. Reinforcements healing going on there. Slowly grabbing the southern field point. He's run to the Grenadiers. See, Grenadiers converging there. Engineers retreat quickly. Basset, of course, not looking to lose another engineer squad as swiftly did the other one. And there you go. Pioneers look like they're ready to dive back towards the base, but still going to grab the fuel point. I'm still surprised they didn't try to off the sandbags just to make it harder for Basset again to cover there. So we've seen another engagement. Of course, what Mirassol could do is just, instead of attacking into Basset along around the fuel point, of course, is to try and, again, take advantage of the southern gap he has and then push on the carve points, and that way deny him access to the northern resources. We'll have to see the other way, though. Grenadiers are being surrounded now by conscripts. Really, I would say fluid infantry fighting here so far between Mirassol and Basset. Like, neither side so far is displaying what I call this, stubborn tendency, this tunnel vision, where they just, like, lose sight of the entire battlefield and just focus on one point and one approach. This is always good and can again lead to some very interesting gameplays. Again, we see them just trying to catch the other one off guard here. So, can call in shock troops, call in heavy mortar. We'll have to see what Basset actually does. And he does call in the shock troops. Now, that is going to be a spectacular challenge here for Mirassol in the early game, since he has no machine gun. He's only got the grenadiers, and most of them also fairly heavily wounded. Plus, on Kholodny Ferma, there's a lot of like sharp corners and such, and shot blockers, making it very easy for these, PPS 841 wielding shock troopers to get up close and do some very nasty things. We got to do it for Mirassol, though. As these gentlemen, of course, the flame for a half-deck might be a bit of a better pick. So, we'll have to see, though. Straight for the car point and the field point at the same time. Grenadiers reinforcing. Got a medic bunker up as well for Mirassol. Pioneers getting mines would be a good idea. And then, of course, heading northwards there. See a lot of action here. A lot of unexpected moves as well. But yeah, shock troopers is not something as often because they just lack the sheer versatility of the guards of rifle infantry. I mean, they're obviously really good if you can get them close, but it's like, why get close? We can just stand about with a bunch, DP-like machine guns and anti-tank rather than just shoot everything to bits from a distance. It's also why I see a lot of grenadiers with light machine guns because, kind of the same logic. Armor carrying 40, there goes shock troopers again, making use of the terrain here. Ambushes the grenadiers here, and absolutely it's going to wipe them out here if Mirassol is too slow to retreat. Yup, again, just in a matter of seconds, the shock troopers just absolutely able to annihilate the grenadiers here because Mirassol just wasn't expecting that. Because again, who goes for shock troopers, right? Well, Basset does. Basset, not Basil. No, not you, Basil. Cancel the Panthers for more grenadiers. I don't think you should have gone for Panzer Grenadier there, honestly. But certainly also benefit from a map like this over the grenadiers. Shops are going for the pioneers, need to retreat them, and again, good chance of wipe here, a lot of open ground, even some negative cover spots here, meaning the shock troopers could have a good chance of wiping them out as well, but fortune smiles by Mirassol, at least briefly here, as Basset shock troopers are not able to score themselves a second wipe within a minute. They're definitely giving, I imagine, Mirassol some grey hairs here, as he's forced to deal with these rather heavy assault troops. Smoke grenade deployed here. Oh, it's actually a grenade. I thought that was a smoke grenade. Up north here, slow progress towards the northern field point. We got mines here. Obviously making such a push to Mirassol difficult without minesweepers, and of course, he doesn't have them. Rather messy stuff here. At this point, Basset probably get away with taking up here. He could also just go for another heavy mortar, or even another shock trooper squad. Don't think he's going to commit to two. I mean, he obviously needs something to do with the armored car a bit more actively. Armored car for the conscripts. Oh, it does have upgrades, but he's just doing too much damage at the moment. They're trying to pop the grenade. They could actually cost them the conscript squad in theory. Still, Basset's got a significant fuel. He's getting 39 versus 13. That's 3 times as much fuel. Definitely not great for Mirassol, but he can get a wipe in the conscript squad. That would certainly help mitigate some of that. And there you go, conscript rushing in. They're going to go for that hoorah and save the other conscript there from an utter annihilation. Get another mine there. Grab the southern victory point there with the engineers. Going for the conscripts. Molotov off here. Puny advancing. Again, counterattack tactics. Thumbs up to that. Very good ability. And Mirassol definitely is a fan of it. He's definitely, I think, the player that consistently goes for it. And he's almost brought up that Molotov as well there. Good chance of getting a wipe here. Good chance. Can he get a wipe, though? He's clearly a bit concerned that it's not going to dive in too fast. More grenadiers for Mirassol. It's going to go up to 5 grenadier squads. No Panzer Grenadier, unfortunately, here. But again, he's really leaning hard in here to the grenadier element versus Basset, which, again, there's a shock trooper squad on the field. He's also going for a machine gun to, maybe start, delivering something a bit more heavy in the firepower range here. Even if the shock troopers can pop a smoke grenade, it can still suppress them, making it a bit hard for them to move about freely on the map. But yeah, 5 grenadiers here for Mirassol. He's a great believer in the grenadier. The South Engineers just laying down mines. Armored car was a shock troop. Got a grenade here on the armored car, doing a fair bit of damage. Need to pull back the 2-2 before it gets turned into 0-0-0. Attack there finally starting to happen there for Basset and the Red Army. Enforcing healing here. We'll have to see what Mirassol does next. Finally got some minesweepers out though. That's a definite improvement there for Mirassol. Mines it off. Need to fix up the 2-2 though before it gets again wrecked. And he's been forcing healing here. We got more mines going off. More casualties on Mirassol. Mines are definitely paying off. I think fairly good dividends here for Basset. Fairly good dividends. Wouldn't you agree, Basil? Basil agrees silently. That machine away. The constructor's going for the northern fuel point here, but their range is going to be easy. Of course, you can just pop a smoke grenade here, or you, of course, just run up close. And there you go. He goes for the grenade approach here. Contra rushing in here. Basil biting my hand. Bad cat. Bad. Phew. No. Ow. Little naughty cat. Grenadier there pushing with the conflict. Comes their low in health here. Pioneers grab the munitions point. Grenadiers closing in the armored car rushing northwards here. More push here. Forts from Mirassol with the Grenadiers here. North here. 2-2 going for the counter. They dig in. Mirassol definitely struggling with the fuel control versus Basset, who is in fact moving straight ahead for the Mechanized armor company. Basset is so confident that he can just move straight ahead for T-34s, and I think he's got the right of it that way. So Mirassol there again. Tried something novel in terms of capping orders, but hasn't quite been able to leverage that well, in part because Basset's, done a good work hitting back at that. And of course, the shock troopers certainly hasn't made Mirassol's strategy much easier either. He's going to need Pack 40s at this point. Or Panzerschrecks. He could also, of course, try for the Puma. But I think it's going to be difficult to leverage the Puma to their full strength on a map like this. More counterattack tactics. Continue sending out there, heading northwards as well with the Grenadiers, grab points. Basset not quite mining as hard as he can. He can all start upgrading his conscript to the 7-man status there. A very consistent use of counterattack tactics. Thumbs up to that. North here can caught with the engineers and the conscripts. A full volley of rifle fire there, sending one of Mirassol's Grenadier squads careening back towards the base. Grab back the northern fuel point for the umpteenth time. Actually, sending is further ahead here, towards the point right outside of Basset's base here. Bold maneuver, machine and give every positioning ability. Obviously concerned about potential flanks here from Basset and the shock troopers. There goes shock to spot in the south. No tech yet for Mirassol. Straight for the car point here again. Basset always looking for that, you can sort of exploit here versus Mirassol. In this case, the car point. Thumbs up there. Catches here, Mirassol's going to be in a definite awkward spot and then hits from the flamethrower. Really good flank here by Basset. At the same time, so on the fuel point being seized by Basset. Grenadiers right in the center here. And the machine is actually falling fairly far back here. Maxim there for Basset. Got the northern fuel point here. And we finally got some tech there for Mirassol and the German army. Both players are just constantly running around here. And neither player, getting too invested in is like any point in the map here. Thumbs up there. We got the Pack 40 ready. The Panzerabwehrkanone 40. The main anti-tank gun of the German army as the war went on. Though, harsh reality was, of course, they couldn't have it for everyone. So a lot of various units had to make do with other things like the Pack 38. Still saw a fair amount of usage late into the war. Also converted SIS guns were used in larger numbers as well as some units. So, fun fact there. Armored car rushing in there, backing up the machine gun comes with a suppressed, damaged engine. There you go, Dick managed to push them off the victory point and maintain his triple cap there, which I imagine was the reason he went in as aggressively as he did there. Maxim firing away here. Could go for the T-34 from 6 fast, of course. Basset might be feeling that, he wants to go for the T-35. Just Grenadiers in the south here. Yevgeny and Konstantin there alongside Petrovich are absolutely decimated by the Grenadiers, the MT-42, making short work of them. The body armor certainly not proof against that. North here, Maxim the church that is quickly forced out in the open. Almost defenestrated, but managed to avoid that. Up north here, victory point falling to the Red Army. As Basset here strikes hard south and north. And there you go. Mirassol here sees an attempt to go to the shock troopers white, but again, he is hesitant to go too far with the armored car. He doesn't want to lose it. He rather appreciates his ability to mess with Basset's infantry overall. Counterattack tactics. Again, northern field being grabbed even as Mirassol goes to the southern field point. Solid infantry handling here by both sides. Thumbs up. Mirassol can go for the Suprema core now, I believe. Definitely should. Obviously, he could try and hold for tier 4, but I think under current circumstances, trying to go for tier 4 for Mirassol would be a strategically and operational questionable move here by him. I don't think that would necessarily help him win the match. Definitely should treat the Pioneers, get the Suprema Cop, and then start pushing for a Panther 4. Basset, meanwhile, is definitely expecting a Panther 4, which is probably why he's just going to go for the T-3485 in a few moments. Northern field pun's almost fallen there to Basset. There we go. Though it has not been connected due to Mirassol's rather efficient cut-off point harassment there. Pioneers finally between long stops of gun to the EC. Armored car very close to 50. 17 kills has definitely been a very efficient tool here for Mirassol so far. And so it can highlight why some players are big fans of the decision, why it's pretty much the standard element, because if the opponent can't really shut it down, it can really perform some efficient bleeding and harassment of the opponent. And again, get the occasional wipe. In this match, it does not really secure those, but it can, play a role in that. There's definitely a reason that it is fairly popular. T-3485 on standard for Basset. Suprema core there going up for Mirassol. Shock was flanking in here, really good flank here. Again, making use of the train here, the ways can hide. And that way, in this case, strike at the Pack 40 here. Shock taking hits from the 2-2, which is now actually 3, all 70-42 there. Wasn't pointing at them, but, guess it intimidated them enough. He's get that Pack 40 back in action as now we got here Bassett's T-3485 there trundling through the streets right into a telemine. Imagine that Pack 40 for crews was crewed. That could have been the end of the Bassett's T-3485, but again, thanks to that pack wipe, Mirassol lacks the ability to finish it off here. Maybe it might be able to get the wipe of the transport here with the now ace 2-2 here. Definitely get some very nice accuracy bonuses, which certainly gives it a good ability to get wipes on your trading units, unless the pathing betrays them. Pack the recruit. So, I mean, Basset's been pretty lucky there. He's yet to get anything wiped on a 2-2. Panther 4, that plus a mortar from Mirassol. Certainly mortar on a map like this is great. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't seen a heavy mortar from Basset. Gets the T-3485. I mean, the Panther 4 is not necessarily bad, but in terms of, how efficient it compared to, how much the T-35 costs, it's not great. And typically, you kind of want to go for Stugs, because the Stugs are more easily just punch through the T-35s and its large amount of health. But again, the Panther 4 just, has a nice amount of utility, can threaten the T-35, and of course, murder infantry. And that's probably what the Mirassol is prioritizing, in particular with the shock troopers still on the field. Having a Panther 4 to deal with them is obviously really nice. So other way though, got a CIS 3 divisional field gun for Basset and the Red Army. Mortifying the Maxim. Something out. You have north here, we got the gunneers of the shock troopers there. Note shock troopers were basically Soviet assault engineers. They were specialist attachments, attached wherever they were needed. Little fanfare there. Counter-attack tactics going for Mirassol. T-35 roaming southwards here for the Red Army. Straight into the gun of the EC. Shoots and kind of whiffs. The fun fact about the machine gun in the hull, that is actually a version of the DP-27, the DT-29 light machine gun. And similar to the German MG-34s in German Panzers, and the hull position could be converted to a light machine gun. Apparently it was actually done that in fairly large numbers, in part by the Finns from captured or wrecked Soviet tanks, but apparently I suspect also them associated in some other cases there, so yeah. Had a slight advantage over the DTP-27. It actually had a larger capacity magazine, which might have made it more popular for some units because of that. But anyways, little fun fact there. T-35 moving head northwards there, gunners inside the shed need to vacate that shed before they get buried inside that shed, because sheds are not exactly known for being proof against 85mm high explosive shells. Panther diving aggressively here. Mirassol going in hyper aggressively, backed up with gunners in the field gun here. Almost got the film crew here. That'd obviously be a really great goal here for Mirassol, and there we go. He does swap the field gun crew. If he can destroy it, that would obviously be really good, but he has to fall back here due to the threat of the T-35. That means he can recruit the field gun that can then destroy Mirassol's Panther 4. Needs to pop smoke and disengage now. So yeah, theoretically a nice idea, but as you can see, they ran into some significant issues there and may almost have cost them the Panther IV there, in fact. T-35 there. Right from the Pack 4, we've got troops pulling up here to assist it. Of course, could want the Pack 40 here again. To have the field gun with its field gun barrage. Pack being pushed back. Troop reinforcing healing here. Mortar at it here. Got one kill so far. Straight for the car point again. Shoot and Panther for both need repairs. At this point, Mirassol should definitely consider some more pioneer system repairing his stuff there, because, you know, even if he's going to go for more armor, he will need, to expedite repairs, because one pioneer squad is simply going to take too long to repair all of the stuff Mirassol has. That, I think, will be a crucial need there for Mirassol in the near future, if not actually right now. Shock Towards pushing 40 now, ace level. 11 kills, definitely a problem there for Mirassol's infantry. Enemies need to be treated before they get killed. Straight for the car point in the north, constant in the church. Mortify keeps blasting away, but that said, pretty exposed position here. I think Mirassol's kind of forgotten about it. Could cost them the mortar crew, which would obviously be great for Basset, but less particularly useful for Mirassol. And there you go, I think retreats the mortar just in time. Panther almost done. Shock was finally pushed off, but not before they hit the carve point. Sandbags in the center here. More pioneers finally happening for Mirassol. As for Basset, he's not far away from another T-35, though, of course. Typical sort of metagame actually goes for Katyusha after the first tank. So we'll have to see what he does. Another tank or a Katyusha. Does go for the T-35 number 2. He could also, of course, benefit a lot from a heavy mortar. Come to their find the cover ruined before the very eyes and are quickly sent in the other direction. That's 2 Panther IVs right now here for Mirassol until, of course, the 2 T-45s are ready as well, in which point, of course, Mirassol's arm advantage once more is quickly dropped. North here, contra launching attack is going to be easy here, but lacking support, they will have to retreat soon. We do have the Panther IVs rushing in. There you go. First shot. Half of the contra squad evaporated. Got the T-35 moving in there to line fire the Panther IVs. Fortunate for him, doesn't get a Panther IVs off, in which case the Panther IVs could have pursued and then finished off the T-35 with that fairly easily, but because it didn't, the T-35 can more easily just pull back and bait the Panther IVs into a trap if necessary, or if possible. Probably a better way to put it. Panther IVs remaining in the north here. T-35 lining up. He got engineers moving in as well here. At the same time, smaller force being dispatched to Santa, and in the south, you can also see Mirassol is, I think, laying the foundations for a push for the through point again. There you go. News was the Panther IVs. So again, note the way the Panther IVs are split up. Theoretically, here, Basset could rush in and take out, for example, the northern T or Panther IV. There were the T-35s, without the other Panther IV being able to assist. So, need to be a bit mindful. And in this case, it looks like Basset is not going to do that, fortunately for Mirassol. Straight hit with the T-45, got mortar firing down, going to need to retreat here. Good shot from the Pack 40 though. North here, Conscripts pushing in here for Basset and the Dead Army. Straight from that northern victory point, we got 370 versus 349. Pretty close there, actually. Panther IV versus the Conscripts. Finding some kills with the machine guns. There you go. Field gun T-35 going for it. Sent here, Conscripts the Panther IV. Maxim Charrington, they got Vetchi 2 there. 2 kills on the Maxim. Mortar from banging death down on them. Diving him in the Panther right into the T-45. Almost got the Maxim there. Meanwhile up north here though, as fighting around the center happens here, Basset is making smooth progress in the north with no real resistance here from Mirassol. He could go for Stug next, or a Puma I suppose. Or he could just save up for more Panzer IVs. We'll have to see what Mirassol chooses there, though considering how much population he has left, guessing at most he could go for the Stuk, and even then I don't think he's got enough population for the Stuk. Yup. Forcing healing. T-35 moves into the center in the Pack 14 Panther's line of fire here. We got 370 versus 317. Mirassol does seem building up a slow advantage here over Basset. Quiet then the north. Lost steam, never got the gunnies moving forwards. South here 2 zooming away there. T-35 there going southwards. Up north here gunnies catching the T-35 here. Panther 4 moving in as well. Shot from the T-35 on the Grenadiers. In the south the T-35 countered the Panther 4 here on his own. Shot bounces. Counter-attack tactics again here from Mirassol. Panther 4 down to half health. Pack 40 being up here. But not a great situation here so far for Mirassol. But there you go. Pack 40 arrives to equalise. Contra in the assembly got a Grenadiers armoured car backing up. Then of course further in the machine gun there. Creating a bit more of an in-depth defence here for Mirassol. And there you go. Second Panther around the scene here. Creating a kill zone there that will pretty much evaporate any Soviet infantry that moves in unsupported. T-35 coming up. Again, it's heavily damaged here. Basset definitely need to be careful. He can soon go for a third one, though again, he could go for Katyusha. That said, though, he did want the Pack 40 here. If he could grab that one, that would be fairly beneficial for Basset versus Mirassol. Fighting is now getting heavily focused on the center now. Both players being sucked into it like a vortex of conflict. There we go. T-35 there continues to dive ahead here. The T-34-85 I was about to say there for some reason. I don't know why, but my brain just keeps making these shortenings of the T-34-85 name that I don't know why it does. But anyways, T-34-85 diving ahead here against the machine gun there. Mortals a bit exposed there. Probably should pull that one out of there. Field bombarding. Definitely looking to smash that into pieces. North there, slow approach there for Basset and the Red Army. Missing here, but it is very close to that. Go. Vetchi 2 getting the T-35. Second Panther 4 though gets a shot through. Hack crude as well. Him using shock tubers. Expensive, but in the hand makes it fairly difficult for infantry to clear out the Pack 40 there. Oh, that's going to be bad news there for Mirazol's armor. Going for Panther 4. Up north, a few points in the hands here of the Red Army once more. And he needs to repair his T-34-85s. Anti-tankers lined up here. Plethora of guns there. Trying to make any head-on assault here with that smoke screen, sort of just proper planning there. Very difficult here for Mirassol. Up north, he's been against the country up northern field point. Got 360 versus 270. Sending in a lone Panther 4 here through the path behind the church there. Bit risky though, but rewarded here by the conscript moving straight into line of fire there. First shot though obliterates Dimitri. Grenade off here. Second hit there almost takes out the entire unit there. Quite brutal there. Still 3 Panther 4s with Mirassol, 1 close of 82. Could be a problem here in the south. We got Panzerkampf fighting to assist the Southern Grenadiers. Northern field being claimed here. Lots of fighting all over the field here between Basset and Mirassol. And I think at this point, again, Basset would like just plan to go for another T-35 as well. So not a bad pick. Again, they are easily one of the most cost-efficient tanks in the game when you like factor in the price. It costs only slightly more than a Panther 4, but easily have a lot more health, a pretty good gun. And can that way just wreck armor. There you go, armored car knocked out there. And of course, very good anti-infantry performance. Straight against with the Panther 4s here. Basset is fearless in the face of Mirassol's Panzerwaffe here. Apparently there are limits to his courage, and there you go. Panther 4 taking a hit from the field gun there, straight through the hedges. In the center, going to bring up the second Panther from the north here. Very close to each other. There's the Pack 40 ready to protect against such a flank attempt here. Panther 4 gaining ready to... Oh dear, Panther is messing up. There we go. Smoke deployed. Damaged engine. And the center gunners are being pinned down as well here. Basset very close to the third one there. Another Pack 40 for Mirassol, another Panzerabwehrkanone. You could also just go for Stug, honestly. Panthers need repairs. There we go. Basset with a third T-3045. Straight at the Panther 4 there. Several return hits on the T-35 causing a fair bit of damage. And the center is moving up here. Console taking a bit of a nasty hit here. Maxim providing coverage still there. Dispatching the 82 T-35 towards the south here, engaging the Grenadiers, rifling them. He's down to 2 men, very low health. T-35 there ready. And is being swiftly pursued by the T-35. Almost wiped out there, but Mirassol's luck comes through. He still has managed to keep all of his 5 Grenadier squads alive. Thumbs up to that as well. Still 3 T-35s there. Under the right circumstances, could turn the match around here against Mirassol quite quickly. Because again, they can really absorb a lot of hit. That's kind of like the thing, like if you get enough T-35s, you can basically hit critical mass. That can make it very difficult for the German to deal with you unless you got like, you know, they got enough firepower. So, depending on what happens next here, this could very quickly run here, but Basset will very quickly lost, I suppose, well, be able to commit. North here, we got counterattack tactics again, but the gun is being sniped at by the T-35 here. The fresh one. The other T-35 coming up the center here. Catching, I think. Oh, yeah, the machine in a bad spot here. Incendiary piercing rounds, obviously useless against the T-35. White Panther 4's engaging here. Halfway to the ace level on that one. And there you go. Pack fire on the Panther 4 on the T-35 return here. Heavy damage here to 2 Mirassol's Panther 4s. One more stocked out here, in fact. Grenadiers being demolished out in the open here. Looking pretty rough. And I think Basset could sense an opportunity to charge in now against Mirassol. There you go. T-35 there. Blitzes ahead there. Like, it's just driving on grease or something. I don't know. Pack there caught in a really bad spot, and the T-35s there can do some serious damage. And Basset shock assaults in there. Go Pack White leaving just with the Panther 4s against 3 T-35s backed up by a Pack 40 man by shock troopers. It is possibly here GG now. In a matter of seconds, all of Mirassol's efforts will be for naught here as the armored fist of Stalin comes crashing through his base and through his face. And there you go, that Panther 4's about to go up in flames. Says the T-35 just keeps unleashing a lot of firepower there while trying to wipe the Grenadiers as well here. Fortunately for Mirassol, his tanks are able to absorb most of the damage. Panther 4 82 there. Troops are pinned down. T-35 bounces off the Panther 4's armor at close range. That is certainly very unlikely in the actual war. Got the Panther 4 there, leaving just 1 Panther 4 there. Pack wiped out. T-35 there near the ace level. Shot bounces. Some luck there for Mirassol's Panzers. But that ran out there. And there's now again still 3 T-35s there inside Mirassol's base. He's got no anti-tank weapons. All he's got is infantry. And we got an artillery strike caught on the edge there as well. That Mirassol sees the entire thing as lost and surrenders. A brutal fight here that I think, again, is very good at highlighting just the sheer power of the T-35. Again, the fact it just has more health really means it can, like, you know, bullet its way through engagements if you get enough of them. That's a pretty big advantage there, and certainly was something quite efficiently exploited here. Of course, Mirassol tactically could also done more to, you know, protect himself, like telemines, Stugs, and certainly also getting like less focus on the center. Again, remember there's the rest of the map as well there. In that regard, I think Mirassol also quickly conceded too much initiative to Basset at some point. But either way though, hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial News. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. Up till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.